Hi, I'm Lex Hrabe.
And I'm Thomas Voorhies, and together we write under the name Lex Thomas. And our first novel just came out on July 10th. It's called Quarantine the Loners, and it's about a high school that gets infected with an unknown virus that makes them deadly to all adults. And the high school gets quarantined, and a year later, all the cliques and stereotypical groups of high school have formed gangs that compete violently for the food that the government drops in every 2 weeks. So sort of like an adventure story in a heightened version of high school.
We've been writing together for a while as a screenwriting team, and we had this idea for a book and decided to jump in and take this challenge of writing a book together. So we just sort of drew on our old habits as screenwriters and applied it to this new format, and we think it worked out pretty well.
And we didn't really have any bone to pick with high school. It's not like either of us had a terrible high school life, and we wanted to that's why we wanted to write it. It just seemed like a fun idea, a fun world to explore, where you could have a great action story that everyone could relate to. When we first met, we met in a writing group, and how we became friends was just trying to show each other crazy movie scenes, obscure, bizarre movie scenes to blow the other person's mind. And that really hasn't changed. We've continued, that's what we still do now. You know, we probably show each other a scene at the beginning of every writing session. The only thing that's changed is we're writing novels instead of screenplays, and that's a lot different.
And we wrote comedies together initially, and now this is not a comedy. It's very serious.
That is a big shift. I mean, it was comedies to now we write horrific stories where people are suffering and dying and torturing each other and stuff. So I guess that is it should seem like a drastic shift to go from goofy comedies to torture and horror, but oddly it was really a smooth transition. And we watch a lot of genre movies like that, and we'd always be coming up with genre comedy blend movies anyway. So I think they started to lean more towards genre and less towards comedy over the years so I think this was sort of a natural progression for us to write.
Yeah, and I think also the whole idea of us starting to we were drawn together by movie scenes and blowing each other's minds with movie scenes, and now we kind of do it with plot turns in the quarantine books. It's one person will tell the other oh, I have this idea, and we lay it out, and hopefully it's crazy enough to excite the other person's imagination, and it's a big turn.
Right. We want to blow minds.
Blow minds.
That's the only objective.
I don't think that there's any real difference. We write for one audience, and that audience is us. If it's scary enough for us, then hopefully it's scary enough for someone else. And I think that it doesn't have to just be for teens or adults separately. I think everybody's been through high school, has an interesting high school experience, and they can draw from that. And that's really what this story is grounded in. So hopefully it's universal. And I don't think,
we don't want to pander to teens or write down to them. We want to show them the respect, treat them like adults, and that's the kind of stuff. When I was a kid, I didn't want to read stuff made for kids. You wanted to read adult books, adult horror novels or whatever it is. Plus, I think it's when when you talk to British kids, British kids sound like adults.
I talk to a lot of British kids on a regular
You talk to a
basis.
British kid and they sound like they're a 40-year-old professor or something, because their parents talk to them in big British words and correct grammar all day since they were born. And I feel the same way. You should write stories for kids like they're intelligent adults. Don't write it for them like they're children.
Well, we're writing it right now. We're in the midst of a draft of the screenplay, and we don't know that much more than that.
Right. We're just in the thick of it. It's kind of at an early stage. It's very exciting that it's happening, but we're trying to write the second book and the screenplay at the same time, and there will be more movie news we could tease you with as the months come, but right now it's just the fact that exists is pretty much what we have as well.
Yeah, I mean, the next step will be there's producers behind it, and they're very excited about the project. But the next step is going to be probably getting a director that's the right fit for the project. So hopefully, the script that we have is really going to excite the right director.